Brewers log, August 6th. It has definitely been a while since I have logged anything. I realized that it looks like May was the last time I actually recorded anything. I thought I had made a recording sometime in June, but the way my summers went, it looks like that didn't happen, and so I missed even one of the times that I did stuff and didn't record it. So tonight I decided I was out of everything. I have no cider, I have no mead. I don't have much of anything left to drink anymore. So I decided it was time to get a bunch of stuff going again. And so at least in a month I should have more to drink. So one of the first things I started tonight was I started making a 2-gallon bucket and ground or sliced up a bunch or 12 ounces of cider. I was looking at my videos from April when I made the last bucket, and I, in that video, said I only did 8 ounces of cider, or 8 ounces of ginger. I'm not sure that was correct because that bucket, when I did bottle it, the ginger was overpowering. That was all you got. It was a really strong ginger burn from any of the bottles that came from that bucket, which for me was great. I love that kind of ginger. I eat ginger straight, fresh, so it didn't bother me one bit. But it was too strong for, I would guess, for most people. But I was really surprised when I went back and looked and saw that I used only 8 ounces. This one I did 12 because that's what I used to do in these. And I'm going to see how it comes out. If it comes out that extremely strong again, I guess I'm going to have to cut back on the amount of ginger I'm using. So my plan for tonight, which I'm just now getting started, is that I'm going to make the bucket using the Mott's apple juice. And then I have 4 gallons of Louisburg cider that I'm just going to bottle or ferment directly in the bottle. And I think I have a Musselman's. Yes, so that is a Musselman's gallon that I'm going to ferment directly in the bottle. Any of the excess is because there's that 1 cup that I take off at the very beginning so I can add in either brown sugar or honey. I'm going to put it into this bottle, and so hopefully I can make a whole nother bottle out of it, and this will just be a mixture of the different ciders and apple juice that I have. So I'm hoping to get this bucket, or the bucket mostly filled, and get this one up to the point it ferments. If there's not enough, I'll just add some extra water to it. It just won't have as much apple juice to it, and just a lot of water. My overall plan is that 2 of the Louisburg ciders are going to be brown sugar, and then everything else that is sitting here is going to use some type of honey. So each of them will get 1 cup of honey, other than the bucket that'll get 2 cups of honey. I have a lot of honey that has definitely started to crystallize, so hopefully I can get it out of there. I do have additional honey than this that is not crystallized yet, so depending on how hard it is to work with, we'll see what I get from that. Last but not least, during supper I made myself a couple bottles of Irish cream. It isn't using actually Jameson, but the Jameson bottles is what I usually put them into. I made 2 of these bottles of Irish cream, and there you can see the cup that I am currently drinking out of. I found this is the best way to make Irish cream and be able to drink Irish cream in cups like that, when I can buy a bottle of blended whiskey for $15-16, not Jameson. If I'm buying Jameson, I'm looking at over $20 a bottle. If I'm lucky, I can get the really big bottle for $35, but most of the time it's $45-50. So I don't get the Jameson very often, but I've lately been using Seagram 7. It comes out fairly close. It's not as smooth. The whiskey is not as good as the Jameson, but for once you get it into the Irish cream, it's not bad. You can find other videos on my channel of me showing how I make my Irish cream, and I probably end up spending, because I make at least 4 of these bottles, if not at 5, out of one of the bottles of whiskey, and then everything else. So I'm guessing I spend probably $30 to make 4 or 5 bottles like this. So it's definitely much more cost effective to make Irish cream this way, and to be able to drink it a lot more often. So Hopefully I'll get back to this and add more to it once I get everything going and show you where my status is there. So, two things I forgot to mention earlier. Part of the reason I'm drinking Irish cream right now is that after I make my Irish cream, I store it in the freezer so it is ice cold, which is great in the middle of the summer when it is really hot outside to have an ice cold Irish cream to end the night with and help cool down with. The other thing that I forgot to really point out that is just part of the way I do things is that one of the things I start with when I'm getting ready to do this is I lay everything out to make sure I've got enough of everything to be able to do it. I've got stoppers that work in each of the bottles. I've got my airlocks that are going to be used for it. I've got all my different sugars ready to go. And then when I'm working on it, it's fairly easy to get, like in this case, I've already started the first bottle. I have taken out 1 cup of cider and it went over into this bottle. And then down here, I took out another cup of cider, heated it up in the microwave for a minute, and then I mixed in my brown sugar. And now I will be pouring it into this bottle. And that's going to be my process over and over again until I finish all 5 of these. And then I'll start on the other two, the extra bottle and the bucket. At this point, I have finished topping off all the bottles. First 2, as I said before, are brown sugar. Next 3 are honey. This is also honey, and that is all the juice that was left over, other than I had 1 more bottle and I didn't want to open it. So I'm just going to top it off with reverse osmosis water. And I filled the bucket all the way up to the first ridge on the bottom. So next step will be splitting 2 packets of SO4 in the 7 containers. And I will be using ferment K in everything, and I think it's a teaspoon that I put in everything, but I'll put 2 teaspoons into the bucket. So you can see I was able to clean up at least 3 of my honey jars, that they are now all cleaned out by putting the warm cider into it or apple juice and shaking them up until I got everything to break up, and they are now in one of the bottles over here. So now we'll get all the yeast in and get the stoppers on it, and hopefully we'll see if anything starts bubbling. Alright, everything is now labeled. I have stoppers and everything, and I think it's ready to go. I will record this to show that it is currently 66 degrees and 41% humidity down here. And they are all on the warming pad. I'll leave them there at least for the week. Possibly leave them there the entire time, because I do know that I found the cider does like having that extra little bit of heat. I am a little worried that I did not leave enough headspace in most of these. When I put the stopper in, I can see that it's right up against the liquid. So hopefully if that doesn't cause any problems. Hopefully I can get gas to release. We'll just have to wait and see. I may have to drain off a little bit of liquid to give a little more headspace, or we'll see how many of these blow up. But I did get another 8 gallons going, and hopefully I will, within 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be able to start drinking some of this. So that's what I got done today, and it's been very productive after having several months of not doing much at all. But summers did not turn out the way I wanted to, so I'm getting started again. Hopefully I will keep this up.